She was performing live on the radio when someone told her that the man she was going to marry had just died, and her world shattered in an instant. Patrice Roberts was on air that December day in 2023, talking, laughing, promoting music, being the soca star everyone knew and loved. Then, someone whispered the news: Ricardo Drue was gone. Her fiancé, the father of her daughter, the love of her life, dead at 38 years old. Patrice learned about his death while the microphone was still on, while listeners were tuning in expecting entertainment. Instead, they heard silence, shock, the sound of a woman heartbreaking in real time. This is the story of Patrice Roberts, a woman who went from singing at 8 years old in a fishing village to becoming one of the biggest names in Caribbean music. But it is also a story about loss, about anxiety, about finding strength when everything falls apart. April 11, 1986, Patrice Roberts was born in Toco, a small fishing village on the northeastern tip of Trinidad, the kind of place where everyone knows your name, where the ocean is your backyard, where life moves slowly. Patrice grew up in a very religious Muslim household. Her family was strict, traditional. She was extremely shy as a child, barely spoke to anyone outside her family, the kind of kid who hid behind her mother when strangers came around. But at 8 years old, something changed. Patrice started singing. And when she sang, the shyness disappeared. Her voice was powerful, clear, full of emotion. People listened. In 1995, at just 9 years old, Patrice entered the Sangre Grande Junior Calypso Monarch competition. She won, a 9-year-old kid beating teenagers and young adults. That win changed everything. It told Patrice she had something special, a gift. By 2000, she was a top finalist in the National Soca Monarch competition. Still a teenager, competing against professionals. Then in 2001, everything exploded. Patrice became the National Soca Monarch, the National Library Calypso Monarch, and the National Junior Calypso Monarch. 3 major titles in 1 year. At 15 years old, she won the National Junior Calypso Monarch again in 2002. Patrice was not just talented, she was a phenomenon. But winning competitions in Trinidad was one thing. Breaking through to the mainstream was another. Patrice needed the right song, the right collaboration, the right moment. That came in 2005. Her second cousin was a rising soca star named Bunji Garlin. They recorded a track together called The Islands, written by Colonel Roberts and produced by Sean Noel. The song was beautiful, melodic. It celebrated Trinidad natural beauty, the beaches, the mountains, the culture. The Ministry of Tourism heard it and immediately chose it for their promotional commercials. Suddenly, the islands was everywhere. On television, on radio, on the internet. Patrice Roberts went from local competition winner to national star overnight. The following year brought an even bigger moment. Patrice collaborated with Machel Montano on a song called Band of the Year. Machel Montano was already a legend, the king of soca. He had been performing since he was 9 years old. For him to feature Patrice on a track meant something. The song became the Carnival Road March winner in 2006. Road March is the biggest honor in Trinidad Carnival. It means your song was played more than any other during the festival. The people chose it, and Patrice made history. She became the youngest female artist ever to win Road March. She was 20 years old. After that success, Machel invited Patrice to join his band full-time. Machel Montano HD, High Definition. This was not just any band. This was the premier soca group in the Caribbean. Patrice became the lead female vocalist. She toured internationally, performed at massive festivals, shared stages with legends. She released hit after hit, Light It Up, More wook, always be. Sugar boy, wooking up. Every carnival season brought new anthems. Patrice competed in the International Soca Monarch multiple times. She placed second in the groovy category in 2006 and 2008, fourth in power category in 2007. She was consistently one of the top performers in the competition. But being in Machel band meant something else too. It meant learning from the best. Machel taught Patrice about stage presence, about connecting with audiences, about turning a performance into an experience. He taught her about the business side of music, about protecting your brand, about longevity in an industry that chews people up and spits them out. Patrice absorbed everything. She watched, she learned. She evolved from a shy girl from Toco into a commanding performer who could control stadiums full of people. Then she met Ricardo Drue, an Antiguan soca singer. His grandparents came from India, just like many Trinidadians. He grew up in Trinidad for part of his childhood before moving back to Antigua. Ricardo had his own dreams, his own hits. Songs like Vagabond and Professional made him a star in Antigua. When he and Patrice met, it was magnetic. Two soca artists who understood the grind, the pressure, the constant travel, the exhaustion of carnival season. They started dating. But like many artists in demanding careers, their relationship was on and off, unstable, passionate, but complicated. In 2016, everything changed. Patrice gave birth to a daughter, Lily. Ricardo was the father, and suddenly the relationship was not just about the two of them anymore. They had a child, a responsibility, a reason to make it work. The relationship became more serious after Lily's birth. More committed. They still had their ups and downs. Still struggled with balancing careers and family, but they were trying. Really trying. In 2019, Patrice and Ricardo decided to stop hiding. They made their relationship public, posted photos on social media, appeared together at events. In 2021, they released a duet called Toxic Love. The song was about their complicated relationship, about loving someone even when it is messy, even when it hurts, even when people tell you to walk away. The track became a hit. Fans loved seeing two soca stars together, creating music together, building a life together. Meanwhile, Patrice's career continued to soar. In 2022, she released a song called Mind My Business. The track was different from her usual carnival anthems. It was slower, more melodic, more introspective. The message was simple. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Focus on your own life, your own happiness, your own journey. The song exploded on social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Everyone was using it, dancing to it, singing along. Mind My Business became the most streamed soca song in the world. Patrice Roberts was now officially the most streamed female soca artist on the planet. Major publications took notice. Grammy.com featured her in an article about essential contemporary soca artists. She performed at Lincoln Center in New York, at City Park's Foundation Summer Stage, at the Brooklyn Paramount. In 2022, she appeared on a remix of Little Miss by Jamaican artist Skeng. The remix featured Nicki Minaj, one of the biggest rappers in the world, along with other major Caribbean female artists like Spice and Destra Garcia. The remix hit #1 on US iTunes. Patrice was no longer just a Trinidad star, she was an international force. Then came July 26, 2022. Ricardo Annual Drue's Day concert in Antigua. One of the biggest pre-carnival events on the island. Patrice was performing. The crowd was massive. The energy was electric. Then Ricardo did something unexpected. He got down on one knee. Right there on stage, in front of thousands of people. He asked Patrice to marry him. The crowd went insane. Patrice was shocked. genuinely surprised. The video shows her walking away at first, overwhelmed. Then she came back. Ricardo was still on one knee, mic to his mouth, looking up at her. "Will you marry me?" "Hell yeah," Patrice said into her mic. The crowd erupted. They were engaged. After years of on and off, after having a daughter together, after toxic love and all the struggles, they were finally going to get married. Fans celebrated. Social media exploded with congratulations. Everyone was excited. Patrice and Ricardo would become the second major soca couple to marry after Bunji Garlin and Faye Ann Lyons. The wedding plans began. The future looked bright. But behind the scenes, Patrice was struggling. In December 2023, just days before Ricardo died, she posted something on Facebook. Something raw and honest. She was battling anxiety. Severe anxiety. She described it as an uphill battle. Tumultuous, exhausting. Some people would not understand, she wrote. Some people would think it was no big deal. But for her, it was everything. Anxiety was affecting her daily life, her performances, her relationships, her happiness. On December 8, 2023, Patrice released a song about her anxiety. At 160 beats per minute, a soca track. This was revolutionary. Nobody talks about mental health in soca music. The genre is about partying, dancing, celebration, not about internal struggles, not about mental illness. But Patrice wanted to be honest. She wanted people who were suffering to know they were not alone. The song was her way of saying, "I see you. I understand. I am going through it too." 4 days later, December 12, 2023, Ricardo Drue was found unresponsive in his room in Antigua. He was rushed to Sir Leicester Bird Medical Center. Doctors tried everything, nothing worked. Ricardo Drue was pronounced dead around noon. He was 38 years old. The cause of death was never officially announced, but people close to him said he had been struggling with health issues. The news spread fast, throughout Antigua, throughout Trinidad, throughout the entire Caribbean. Ricardo Drue was gone. Patrice found out while she was live on the radio, doing an interview, promoting music, being the professional she always was. Then someone told her, and her world stopped. Hours later, she posted a video on Instagram. Ricardo and her kissing. Happy. In love. The caption said, "I would do anything to hear your voice. Wake up," with crying emojis. That post broke hearts across the Caribbean. Everyone knew what she was feeling. The shock, the disbelief, the desperate hope that maybe it was not real, maybe he would wake up. Ricardo had posted just days before his death on Instagram, celebrating his Spotify numbers. His streams had gone from 100,000 to 1.2 million. He was proud, excited. The caption said, "What is your motivation to fight through it all?" "Mine is my children." Plural, children. Not just Lily. Ricardo had other kids from previous relationships. He was a father multiple times over. And now, those children had lost their dad. Lily had lost her father, and Patrice had lost her fiancé. The funeral was devastating. Family flew in from around the Caribbean. Fellow artists paid tribute. The soca community mourned together. But something ugly happened too. Someone leaked a disturbing photo of Ricardo's death scene. Someone shared a voice message with graphic details. The family was furious. They released a statement condemning whoever spread those images and messages, begging people to show respect, to let them grieve in peace. But the internet does not care about peace. The photos and messages spread anyway. Patrice went silent after Ricardo's death. She stopped posting, stopped performing, stopped being the energetic soca queen everyone knew. She was grieving, processing, trying to figure out how to be a single mother to Lily while dealing with her own trauma, while battling anxiety that had already been overwhelming before Ricardo died. How do you perform happy party music when your heart is shattered? How do you smile on stage when you want to scream? How do you keep going? Slowly, Patrice came back, not because she was healed, but because she had to. Because she had a daughter to raise. Because music was her therapy. Because Ricardo would have wanted her to keep going. She started releasing new music, performing again. But she was different now, quieter, more reflective. The songs changed too. Less about partying, more about healing. About gratitude, about mental health, about survival. In 2024, Patrice continued touring. New York, Miami, Washington, D.C., Toronto, London. Everywhere Caribbean people gathered, they wanted to see Patrice. She performed with her band, the A-Team Band. Her setlists included all the hits, like Yuha, Self, Big Girl Now, Tender, Mind My Business, Anxiety, The Islands. But now, when she sang those songs, they meant something different. They were not just party tracks. They were survival anthems. Patrice also became more vocal about mental health. She talked openly about her anxiety, about therapy, about medication, about the stigma in Caribbean culture around admitting you are struggling. In Trinidad, you are supposed to be strong, supposed to push through, supposed to smile no matter what. Mental illness is seen as weakness, as something to hide. Patrice refused to hide anymore. She used her platform to say it is okay to not be okay. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to admit you are drowning. Today, at 38 years old, Patrice Roberts is still one of the biggest names in soca music. She performs with Machel Montano. She releases her own solo material. She tours internationally. She is a Digicel Trinidad and Tobago ambassador. She has over 750,000 Instagram followers. She is the most streamed female soca artist in the world. But more than any of that, she is a survivor, a single mother raising Lily, a woman who lost the love of her life and kept going anyway. Patrice keeps Ricardo's memory alive. She talks about him in interviews, posts throwback photos, makes sure Lily knows who her father was, what he meant to the soca community, how talented he was, how much he loved her. That is the burden Patrice carries now, being both parents, keeping Ricardo's legacy alive while building her own, performing happy music while grieving privately, smiling for fans while crying at home. But Patrice is strong. Always has been. That shy little girl from Toco who could barely talk to strangers grew up to command stadiums. That teenager who won every competition she entered became a woman who survived unimaginable loss. That young artist who joined Machel Montano band became the queen of soca in her own right. Patrice Roberts did not just survive, she thrived. Even when life tried to break her, even when anxiety tried to silence her, even when death tried to steal her joy, she kept singing, kept performing, kept fighting. Her lifestyle now is focused and intentional. She is more selective about performances, more protective of her time with Lily, more careful about her mental health. She works with her manager at Rhythm Stream, her publicist at Creativa Media. She maintains control over her career in ways many artists do not. She learned that from Machel. Protect your brand, control your narrative. Do not let anyone else define who you are. Patrice's philanthropy happens mostly behind the scenes. She does not publicize every charitable act, but she uses her platform for good. Advocating for mental health awareness, supporting young female artists, showing up for her community. She understands the power she has, the influence, the responsibility that comes with being a role model. The soca world lost Ricardo Drue too soon, but it still has Patrice Roberts. Still has her voice, her energy, her strength, her willingness to be vulnerable, to talk about the hard things, to show that you can be a superstar and still struggle, that you can win Road March and still battle anxiety, that you can perform for thousands and still feel alone. Patrice makes it okay to be human, to be complicated, to be more than just the party persona everyone sees on stage. From Toco to the world. From shy child to soca queen. From competition winner to mental health advocate. From engaged woman to grieving widow to single mother warrior, Patrice Roberts' journey is not finished. She still has music to make, stages to conquer, a daughter to raise, a legacy to build. And through it all, she carries Ricardo memory, not as a weight, but as a reminder of love, of loss, of resilience, of the fact that life keeps moving, even when your heart wants to stop. Patrice Roberts keeps moving too. One song at a time, one performance at a time, one day at a time, still here, still fighting, still the queen.